Well, hi everyone. I'm AJ Willoughby. Glad to have you back on another Monday night product call. We took a break through the holidays. We're back, but not only are we back, but we've got some incredible news with the addition now of Avisae and the Avisae products and the whole product line that's going on there. And to fill us in on what's going on with all that and what do the products do? Because that's been the big question. Everyone's asking gut health. Okay, so what does this actually do? It helps all things poop or what? How does this really work? We have with us Chanelle Jepson Doyle. So now you've been, the vice president of product development over at Avisae before BeneYou and Avisae and M and Jebber all came together in one place. And literally, I mean, you've been training physicians and homeopathic doctors, clinics, spas. All these are curing ailments through nutrition and proper skincare and all of that for quite some time. But you specialize in the autoimmune disorders and supplementation of it all, correct?
Yeah, so that's my specialty. I'm actually a functional food chemist, and so my specialty is really autoimmune disorders because I have my own history with autoimmune disorders and with my own failing health and my own failing body that just made me fascinated about autoimmune disorders, diseases, and this whole world that's living inside of you. Um, I'm just obsessed with these little creatures in the microbiome.
So let's go ahead and let's start off talking a little bit about the Avisae product. So now that the product line is here, first off, the big question is, what is it? What is this product line? What is Avisae products?
I know, honestly, love your gut. I mean, it's a funny phrase, right? But okay, so the whole premise behind love your gut is we are bombarded with stressors, right? We have environmental stressors, but then we also have stresses just from our day-to-day lives. Historically, humans have been able to run off stress. For instance, you have Neanderthals running away from a saber-toothed tiger, right? They get all these stress hormones going inside of them, but they book it, right? They get out of dodge. Or they have all of these hormones in order to fight a predator. But Americans, when we're stressed because, our boss is irritating us, or our kids, or our spouse, or, money, or any of those kind of things. And we don't necessarily just like take a jog when we get stressed out. Hopefully we're not like punching out our kids or our boss or, right? So our fight or flight response, even though it's kicking in high gear, we're not actually using it the way that it was intended. And so you have all of these stress hormones that are really messing up your body. You will meet people who they have ulcers because of stress, right? Because the way stress works is you have these neurochemicals and they can damage the gut lining. So the way your gut is you want it kind of like this, where it's connected like this, but not a phone connected where it can like nothing can go through, but like fingers where you can like, stuff can still get through. And so your gut works on intaking things that it needs and then keeping out things that it doesn't want, right? It's called selective permeability. And so it's very selective, it's very high maintenance in what it wants. Unfortunately, when stress or poor diet, any of those type of things come in, they can damage this to where instead of like this, it's like this, where your body is no longer able to pick what goes into your bloodstream, right? It can't decide. And so this is where food allergies are born. Say you have lactose is a really easy one because most people know what lactose is. It's the sugars that is found in dairy. So say you drink a glass of milk and it's not broken down all the way, you could actually get that lactose into the bloodstream before it's broken down more simply. And your body will see that and it will say, oh crap, here's an invader. And your red blood cells call on your white blood cells and it attacks it and it creates this big inflammation response. And now your body thinks that you are allergic to dairy. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. So you get that with everything. You can get that with dairy. You can get it with eggs. You can get it with onions. You can get it with all different kinds of foods. You can get it with pollen. I mean, there's like a lot of different things. And so allergies are really born by leaky gut or what we call hyperpermeability, gut hyperpermeability, where more stuff is getting through than should, is pretty much what that means.
Okay.
And so that's probably, I would say that's one of the biggest issues that I run across in my clientele. You kind of mentioned earlier, I've worked with naturopathic doctors. I've also worked with MDs on the East Coast in order to implement autoimmune disorder programs into their practice. And I will say in my years of doing this that the two most common things I see is gut dysbiosis, meaning you have too much bad bacteria and not enough good bacteria. So it's like out of whack, it's uneven. And then leaky gut. So those are the two things I see the most. What people don't recognize is they're like, oh yeah, I need to take a probiotic, and that's like the end of their gut health. But what I think a lot of people don't understand, and really what they haven't taught us, is that you are 10 times more bacteria than human, meaning you have 10 times more genetic coding that is bacteria than human coding. A lot of people are like, ew, that's disgusting because you're a parasite, right? Like you're sitting here with being more bug than human, right? But I take it as very empowering because I can't change the fact that I have green eyes or I have olive skin or I grew to be the height of 5'2", you know, which my mom says is the perfect height. But so you just don't have, like, so you can't change those genetics. However, the genetics of your bacteria, you can change. In fact, studies have shown that you can change your gut microbiome within 3 days. And for me, that's very empowering to know that I might not be able to change this 10%, but this 90% is completely at my my discretion, right? Foods I eat, managing my stress, getting sleep, positive self-talk, and then supplementation. Those are really, really important. And so when Love Your Gut, when I very first formulated Love Your Gut, we first came out with the Pre Plus Probiotic Pixies. We came out with Digest Well Plus, and we came out with Bliss, which is, do you guys know, I don't know if you know what Bliss is, but we'll get there. Okay, so those were the 3 products we came out with. Pre Plus Probiotics were definitely the biggest hit. Everybody knows that they need probiotics. You might not know why you need probiotics, but you know you need them, right? And they're in this amazing delivery form, which we are very proud of because we were able to take probiotics, which are very high maintenance little bacteria, and we coated them in fat. And fat, carbs get broken down in your saliva, and then proteins get broken down in your stomach acid, but fats actually don't get broken down till later. And so by coating the probiotics in fat, it's the perfect delivery system to get your probiotic down where it needs to be. Your body will break down the fat naturally, and then your probiotic comes out like kicking butt, right? Taking names, all of that good stuff. Because in fact, 70% of your immune system is located within your gut. And so once you fix your gut, you're sick less often. Also, they say that about 90 to 95% of the body's serotonin is made in your gut. Serotonin is what makes you happy, horny, and sleep well, right? All of the big things that people want. Your probiotics are going to really help with that. In fact, there was just a recent study done in the Netherlands showing that so these are called the epithelial cells, like on the gut lining. And they found that in somebody with IBS, there was less serotonin found in those cells. So you actually have a high correlation between IBS and depression and anxiety. Depression starts in the gut. They're linking gut dysbiosis with schizophrenia, with autism, depression, anxiety, all of those different mental diseases. And it's not, and I think a lot of times we've kind of misdiagnosed depression and thought, oh, you can power through it. Just think positively, just be happy. And positive self-talk does work in the fact that this is a cool other study, but they just showed that the way your bacteria responds to positive things is a higher vibration than when you're yelling at it, it actually like closes. So positive self-talk is really important, but positive self-talk is not going to get you out of deep depression. You actually do need these neurotransmitters to make you happy. They are necessary. So one of the big things that I found with fixing the gut is that people are able to become happy, right? They're able to work with medication a little bit better. They're able to work with their doctors a little bit better, therapists, stress, even PMS. PMS is not natural. I would say it's normal because most women do get it. However, it is not supposed to be like that. And so just, there's so much with gut health. I could probably talk for like a bajillion hours. So I'm going to just try to not talk everyone's ear off. But so those are the big things I saw. So when we launched those 3 products, digestive enzymes are another big thing. I always say, this is like my famous quote is, you are not what you eat, you are what you digest. Because this, right? This ends, we all know where this ends, right? You know, all the way through. We all know like the end of the story, I'm sure. But so I call that the outside inside, because really you're allowing outside stuff to go inside your body. However, it doesn't actually become every part of your body. It doesn't become parts of your cells. It doesn't go to your brain. Your blood doesn't deliver it all throughout the body unless it becomes digested and is absorbed through those epithelial cells. That's one way. I mean, there's other ways that things can get absorbed, but just for like simplicity's sake. So you need everything to be absorbed. So Digest Well Plus, it's going to come in and it's like taking a car, putting it in like a bad neighborhood and they take it apart, you know? Like that's what your enzymes do. Like they're like picking off and they're taking it where it needs to go. Probably a more, I don't know, like upstanding example would be like the Ford assembly line, but the opposite way. You take in the car and the worker takes the windshield and he puts it on the shelf where the windshields go, and then he takes the windshield wipers, right? And so that's what your digestive enzymes do, is they take your food, they break it apart, they put it where it needs to go. So that's the digestive enzymes. And then the essential oil, we actually did get a licensed aromatherapist who actually started aromatherapy schools in South Africa. She's very well known formulator to help us with the Calm essential oil. But your probiotics are prebiotics and probiotics. Prebiotics are food that your probiotics eat. So it's pretty much like, you know, this little guy that's going through, you just packed him the perfect lunch, right? So that when he busts out kicking butt, taking names, he's got a sandwich to eat and give him energy so that he'll colonize and duplicate and all of that good stuff. And so that's really important for us, is to pair the two together, because one of the things we're finding with the American diet is we're not eating enough fiber. Prebiotic fiber is what your bacteria feeds off of. And the less diverse your diet is, the less diverse your bacteria is. And so we're just kind of giving you 2 products in one with the Pre Plus probiotics. We're giving you prebiotic fibers and protected probiotics, because that's like just the best delivery system. So it's really, so when people even ask about price, you have to understand that one, it's 2 products in one, but then also that protection is the difference, like night and day difference, because probiotics, they die so easily. You'll see a lot of probiotics that are refrigerated. If it is refrigerated, what they're telling you is that it cannot live outside of perfect conditions. Your stomach acid is not perfect conditions. Right when you swallow that refrigerated pill, guess what? Your stomach acid is going to come in and kill some of it. Some of it will survive, but not all of it, right? And we've been able, with this patented fat protection, it's able to protect from humidity, so they don't have to be refrigerated. They don't die in saliva, and they don't die in your stomach acid, right? And some do die naturally of old age because they are alive. So what we've done is we put 40 billion in every pixie stick, but we only label claim 20 billion, just in case you have it on your shelf for a few years, right? So that's one of the things that we've done, but 20 billion is a lot. However, we order our Pre Plus probiotics very, very often. Like that is our top selling product. And because of that, you are definitely getting more than 20 billion every time you sprinkle that pixie stick on your tongue. And that's a really good amount. And there's an amazing like diversity of lacto and bifido strains in order to help your ascending, your transverse, and your descending colon. So all of that together. And then, so we have our digestive enzymes. They do digest protein, carbs, and fats. And then let's see, so we launched those 3 products. And then even as I traveled the country, I could tell that people were still getting bloated, or people were still not able to lose weight the way they wanted to lose weight. So there were still things that I noticed within our distributorship as I sat with them. I do consultations, and like even when I go out and do a regional, a lot of times I sit with them and like we'll go to dinner after, and I kind of do little health consultations, and I just recognized, I was like, you know what, there is something more that's going on here than just microbiome. And that's when I set to formulate Repair Plus, because I recognize the signs of leaky gut. And so Repair Plus, I would say, is it is so important for everybody to go on. Like, that is because we all have stress. We are all, unfortunately, especially in this industry, we travel a lot. I'm doing a Zoom call in my car. Like we end up having to eat out. Like, that's just the reality of it. And we can't always just, we make the best decisions we can, but they're not always going to be perfect, right? And so because of that, supplementation is more important now than it has ever been. Repair Plus is amazing. So it helps your cells go like this to here. This is really important because if your body is absorbing too much stuff, right? That's food allergies, food sensitivities. And some of the things you'll notice with food sensitivities is acne, brain fog is a huge one, eczema, psoriasis, infertility is a big one. They're even linking PCOS to a bacterial imbalance. My endometriosis is completely into remission just through a healthy diet. My doctor told me in my 20s that my chance of getting pregnant without IVF is very, very slim. And I am now, you can't really tell yet. I mean, it's there. My belly's there. But I am pregnant, and I got pregnant naturally without the help of any sort of medication. And the doctors told me that would be impossible. I haven't, when I first had endometriosis, I was in pain all the time. I was on somas, which is a muscle relaxant. I was on painkillers, Loratab, every single month. I haven't had a painful menstrual cycle in years. I have no cramping. I have no mood disruptions. I don't get moody. So there's a lot of things that can happen when you change your gut that are obviously, like, for me, the baby is the biggest thing, but that are really exciting. And when you take your health in your own hands, you really have the power to change your lifestyle. And in this industry, what's amazing is that it's paired with a comp plan. Like, when do you see it where you're able to change two lifestyles? Because I don't care how rich you are, if you still die from a disease that you could have prevented, like, no money in the world is worth that, right? So I think the first thing to invest in is definitely your health. And then from health comes wealth, because now you're more confident to present the opportunity. You're more confident to talk about the products because you're less sad. You have less anxiety, right? There's just so many things on both ends that happen when you take your health into your hands. And so with Repair, so it takes down this, and then what it does is it reduces inflammation that might be causing here. We have like anise seed, we have licorice root, right? We have these different herbs that help to take down that inflammation. L-glutamine is what kind of brings this back together, because this is actually made out of amino acids, your epithelial cells are. And then we have fibers that come in and they act like a sponge, and they sponge up all of the junk and gunk in your gut and eliminate it out. So you're going to see a little bit of a detox. And then there's also an enzyme I included called alpha-galactosidase, and alpha-galactosidase helps to break down Candida albicans, which is a yeast in the body that can just wreak havoc. Alpha-galactosidase also can help with digestion of coniferous vegetables like broccoli, even asparagus, cauliflower, things like that. And that's all in one product. And so we really wanted deliveries of multi-purpose, but with around the same issue, because a lot of times people will take L-glutamine, they'll just do scoops of L-glutamine. But I recognize that even if you heal the cells, if you still have inflammation, that inflammation is going to keep damaging it. So you want both together. But then you also don't want the stuff that's causing the inflammation to stay there, so you have to absorb it and eliminate it out. So there's like a process to every process, if that makes sense. And just trust me, it's very well thought out without me taking like 16 hours to explain everything. But so that product is amazing. And I know people who lost weight right away. I have a girlfriend who was a size 4, which is still tiny, and she had this like kind of like baby fat from having kids, and she tried everything, macro counting, I mean, every diet cleanse, everything. and I had her as part of our test group for Repair Plus before we launched the product, and she lost 6 pounds in her first 2 weeks. We had one guy who lost 30 pounds in his first month, and it's because your body, if your body doesn't know what to do with food, if it's not breaking it down, if it's not absorbing it correctly, well, guess what? It stores it in your connective tissue as fat cells. So it just starts stuffing it. It's kind of like, you know, you tell your kid to clean in 2 minutes and all they do is stuff everything under their bed. Your body is the same way. If it doesn't know what to do with it, it stuffs it, and you get bigger hips from it. So it's great.
So let's kind of go in order here as far as what we have so far. So let's take the prebiotics, the repair, and the enzymes that digest well. So as far as, okay, well, when do we take these, and what is each one of these functioning, and do they all three work together here, or what?
Yeah. So have you guys seen the Love Your Gut kit, the red one yet? I wish I had one in my car, but it comes in this beautiful red box. And so when you open it, on the top you have all of the statistics around gut health, how much we're spent, or like how much it's affecting us, how many billions of dollars we're spending in healthcare because of a poor gut, all of those different statistics. And then you have the products. So the first product you would take is Repair Plus. You take that first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. What that's going to do is that's going to help detox some of the, you know, the junk out, but then it's really going to set the tone for digestion for the whole day to help your body move things through correctly. So that's Repair Plus first thing in the morning. You can, I always get asked, can you mix it with other things? Absolutely. If you want to mix it with a smoothie, you can mix it with other things. It is a little bit more potent just on its own, but it's not that big of a difference that I don't know. You can say, oh, somebody asked, can kids use this? Yes. So actually all the products in Love Your Gut you can use. If they're under 100 pounds, you want to half the dosage. So if they're under 100 pounds, instead of a full repair, just half of a repair. And that's like a good, you know, that's a good way to do it. And then people will ask about infants. Legally, I have to tell you to consult your doctor with infants. However, doctors do prescribe probiotics for infants. So you can take that. All right. So you have first thing in the morning, Repair Plus, you drink that. And then the digestive enzyme, those are the chewables. And you're going to chew that with every meal. And like I said, that's the assembly line. It's going to take in your pizza, right? Just kidding, don't eat pizza. It's going to take in your pizza and it's going to break it down and it's going to help everything absorb better, right? Quality matters a lot with food. It's, you know, it's the difference between a Tesla and, I don't know, a Kia, right? I don't know. But you just want your car to work like or you want your body to work like a Tesla, right? You want it to be really smooth and all of that. So digestive enzymes before every meal, and then probiotics after one of the meals. The reason I say after one of the meals is because of this. So that protection on the probiotic is fat. It comes from plants. Your digestive enzymes breaks down protein, carbs, and fats. If you take them at the same time, it will digest that fat prematurely. So hopefully that makes sense. So you want at least 20 minutes between them so that your body breaks down that fat where it's supposed to, right? Instead of with your enzyme. And so that's why I say after a meal, but I do it differently. Probiotics, I'll do it whenever. So like if I'm having, like I do coconut milk yogurt, and I'll actually pour pre-plus probiotics inside my yogurt to make it like a probiotic yogurt. I do it at night as a dessert, right before or right after my food. So you can do it different times. The only thing you can't do is you can't heat it. Think of that fat like coconut oil. If it gets heated, it will melt off. And then also heat kills probiotics. So you definitely just don't want to heat it. So you can mix it with things that are cold. My little sister, she had a baby C-section. And when a baby's born C-section, they don't go through the vaginal canal. So they don't get all that bacteria from their mom, which is really important. So it is more important to give probiotics to a baby that's born C-section. So what she did is she just got the binky wet and rolled it in the pre-plus probiotics and then gave it to him. They make a funny face because it's sour. So it's kind of like, you know, but it's good. It's good for them. People will ask me, can you take probiotics while pregnant? Absolutely. Probiotics are one of the most studied supplements on pregnant women. They can reduce your baby's chance of obesity by almost over 90% before they're 18. Colic, thrush, all of those have to do with bacteria, and you can help prevent a lot of that by taking probiotics while pregnant.
Wow. So now, question, as far as, so you said a doctor would typically prescribe a probiotics for infants. However, we're not saying that here, but if someone had that, what would a doctor probably say? Well, this is probably the amount that you could have of the pre-probiotic.
Oh yeah, we've had tons of people go into their doctor with our probiotics and say, "Can I give this to my baby?" And I have never had somebody come back saying no. Right? They're and they're very common, like they're more common strains because they're the most tested strains. They're also human-derived strains, meaning that they're native to a human gut. So a doctor who understands probiotics would not be opposed to an infant taking our probiotics.
So as far as the amount, obviously it wouldn't be the entire packet in a bottle, or
no. So kind of how we've done it is an adult is 1. Okay, so if you're taking antibiotics, 4 a day. If you have an autoimmune disorder, 2 a day. If you're a healthy human, 1 a day. If you're under 100 pounds, half of 1, and then if you're an infant, a 4th.
Gotcha. All right. Now, we just had someone ask, does this product protect against lectins? Did I pronounce that right?
Okay, you did. Yeah, those are found in like tomatoes and things like that. So I wouldn't say it can necessarily just protect against lectins. However, it can repair the damage from lectins. And so lectins are a hard one. And because I totally understand why a lot of people try to prevent lectins, because what they do is they pierce through your gut lining and can get into your bloodstream, which obviously is no good. But so I wouldn't necessarily, like, it's not going to make a layer that a lectin can't pierce through. However, it hurries and repairs the damage that's done from a lectin. Like, if you have a healthy gut, eating a tomato should not destroy you, right? Like, if you have IBS, absolutely it will probably hurt. So there's different things. So I wouldn't say necessarily it protects against lectins. However, it keeps your gut healthy so that you're able to consume lectins regularly.
So as far as gut issues that people deal with, what are some of those major issues? I know we talked about Candida, IBS, the leaky gut. What are some of the others that people should be thinking about, that, hey, I need to make sure I'm on this product because I've noticed this?
So I think some common things is you should be having a bowel movement every day, at least once or twice a day. The consistency should be that of toothpaste. So I think, so fecal matter really does matter, right? Fecal matters a lot. Okay. So it does. And making sure you're regular, that is really important, because you don't want your stuff to be fermenting and getting all gross and all of that kind of stuff inside of your gut. So that is really important. If you have any sort of skin disorder, eczema, psoriasis, acne, or you feel like you're aging too quickly, that could also be a sign. So those are different signs. I would say, so you guys all have access to the PhD. It's called the Personal Health Design. So the Personal Health Design, it's on our app. I'm sure it's on your app. I don't know exactly how all of this is working.
Actually, I think we do have access to the app now.
So write this down. So find the PhD. So PhD stands for Personal Health Design, and it is a quiz that will talk about the different parts of gut health, and it will self-qualify you. It will tell you where to focus your time on. But however, I would say if you want to just keep it simple, everyone needs to start with a Love Your Gut kit, right? Everyone needs to start with it. And then people ask me all the time, well, once I repair my gut, do I still need to take Repair Plus? Yes, the name is misleading. All of this is considered preventative medicine. It is so much easier to prevent than repair, just like it is so much easier to keep weight off than it is to lose it. So you want to think about that with your health, is you want to prevent these things. I will get people in their early 20s or even in their teens, and they think they're invincible. They think they can stay up all hours of the night, drink as much as they want, and drink as much alcohol as they want. They think that they can eat whatever they want and it's never going to catch up to them. it will catch up to them. And it's not just weight. Weight is not the most important thing. It is not being depressed. It is not being sad. It is being able to sleep, being able to reproduce. It's being able to walk upstairs, being able to, play with your kids, take your daughter down the aisle, like not have diabetes. I mean, there's all of the, not having thyroid disease. Like those are so important. If we could do better at preventing those, we would be in such a better place as a society. So Repair Plus, keep taking it even after, because you're still eating out. You're still eating food that might have some pesticides, or they might be genetically modified, or you might be like in Utah, we have inversion. We have super bad pollution here. Or you might actually be stressed, right? All of these different things. If you can prevent the damage that those things cause, your health is going to be in such a better place.
Well, that has been an incredible amount of information. And I know that there's a whole lot more products to come, which is why next week we're going to do this again and talk about some other products. What else do we have to go over right now before?
Oh, wait, real quick. Let me finish real quick. So the Love Your Gut box, and then you also have Calm, which is the digestive essential oil. And that is amazing. The essential oil, you can just rub it directly on your stomach, and it helps to take down inflammation almost immediately. A lot of people are like, oh, essential oils. Like, do I even believe in essential oils? They work. Like, I don't care if they're magic voodoo, but they work really well. And I'm just kidding. There's Harvard studies proving that essential oils are effective. They're actually lobbying to try to get them in mainstream medicine because they work so well. But this was really formulated to help reduce the inflammation and increase motility. Motility is that action of peristalsis, and it's like pushing the food through the GI tract so that it's not just sitting there fermenting and getting all disgusting. So we have that. You can rub it on your stomach, and then you actually like rub yourself like this in this kind of motion, and that will help manually. It's called an elimination massage. So like if a child has a stomach ache, if you have a stomach ache, like it works like immediately. So you have to try that. However, if you go out to eat and you need some help, but you don't necessarily want to like lift up your shirt and show your navel to everyone, I mean, unless you have like a killer six-pack, I get it, I would too, but
I have a keg.
What?
I don't need a six-pack. I got a keg.
Oh yeah, that's actually, no, I don't even know what mine's considered. I have a very round baby belly. But you can just take your forearm, you can warm it up, and then just roll the essential oil on your forearm, and it will still be absorbed into the body.
Wonderful.
And that is the products, the Love Your Gut kit, the Love Your Gut line, and I would recommend everyone like add that to your order and try the full program. Go through the PhD. You start the PhD in the beginning, but you can actually track your progress, like your internal progress throughout the protocol, to see how well it's working for you and for your body.
Okay, and the PhD, now, can they find the information on that in the back office? Or
it should be in your guys' back office. So I know that we have the Avisae Share app, and it's in there. If it's not, I can actually just shoot an email and request that it get put in there for you guys. Because the PhD is a really important tool, both for your own health, but then also because you're not a doctor, you're not a nutritionist, right? Like, you're not a gut whisperer, right? So you need something to help somebody else see the problems and the holes in their health. So once you hand them the sheet, and you just have to be an expert at helping walk them through it and helping them figure out what of our products works best for them. That's what you need to be a master at, but the sheet does all the rest of the work.
Wonderful. Chanelle, thank you so much.
You're
And again, next week, we're going to tackle some of the other products that we've got from Avisae that are now in our back office. If you want to find out more about the products and what's going on and how to get them and how much they cost, then go to your back office and you'll find them there. If you've gotten everyone that used to be on the M side that now in the BeneYou side, the M side and the Avisae side, we all share the same back office information now. And so you can find all that in your back office. I know if you're on the Jamberry side, that's coming. and you'll have that very, very soon.
Oh,
But
and
everyone
real
side and the other. Yes.
sorry, real quick. So if you want videos on the individual products, I've actually filmed them, and you can find that on Avisae's YouTube channel. And I'm sure those will get moved over at some point. If you have more things, my website is chanellecosette.com, and I have a lot of information on gut health and like little blurbs about the products and recipes and things like that that you can find some more information. We also have white papers. Those should be available in the back office as well for the products. Let's see, and then the videos, and I think that's really, and we have our Clean and Lean program, which is our weight loss program that goes along with our Love Your Gut kit. That should also be available in your back office. You can also get those, you can order them printed. But that's a really awesome program. If you like to run group kind of competitions or anything like that, that's a really awesome one to do as well.
Amazing. Incredible. Thank you so much again, and can't wait for next week. Everyone go to your back office. You'll see this information. Check the YouTube channel out, the Avisae YouTube, and that's where you'll see all the product videos that Chanelle's done, and be looking because more information will be coming on all the other products. We're going to find out even more next week. But go get you some of that gut health stuff and start repairing your body, and because there isn't anything that can really compete with this. This is incredible. Thank you so much, Chanelle, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Love your guts.